Hello everyone, hi, this is Sandhya. I'm your botany lecturer. Before entering into our topic, I would like to discuss something about biology. Biology. Biology is made up of two words, bio and logy. Bio means life, logy means study or science. So together, the study of life or the science of life is nothing but biology. So this biology is again divided into two branches. The study of plants is called as botany. The study of animals is called as zoology. So now we are going to study about botany. Going into detail about our topic. In this video, I am going to discuss about origin, origin, development, scope, and branches of botany. In the 21st century, many biophysical and biochemical techniques were developed, were introduced, were discovered, invented, like chromatography, centrifugation, electrophorese, spectroscopy. Many techniques were invented, and which led to the discovery and to know more about the minute details of the living organisms. So hence we can say that 21st century is the golden era of biology or botany also. Okay, so 21st century is the golden era, because in this century we got to know many minute details about the living organisms. Coming on to origin of botany. This botany word is originated from a Greek word called as boskein. Boskein, which means cattle feed. Bos means cattle, boskein means cattle feed. In course of time it has become into botany. Now at present we are calling it as botany. This is about origin of botany. Coming on to development. Development, it is there since ancient times. Since ancient times, human beings are very much dependent on plants for their food, shelter, clothes, and medicines, etc. For a number of reasons, we are dependent on plants. We are like in coordination, and these plants are the first organisms which came into our earth. We came so after so many years. We came into existence. But plants were there on the earth like long years or millions and trillions of years ago, and we are living in coordination with plants. We are dependent on plants for food, shelter, clothes, and medicines, etc. But exact record of the information we didn't do about the plants and matter. But in 4000 BC, in 4000 BC, Egyptians Egyptians and Assyrians, they collected the plants, they recorded the information of the crop plants in the form of pictures. Pictures called as hieroglyphics. Okay, for the first time in ancient times, 4000 BC. Then after that, in 2500 BC, Chinese learned how to cultivate the crop plants, crop plants. Then in 2000 BC, in our country, a book was written called as Atharvana Veda. Atharvana Veda, where a wealth of information was given about the medicinal plants and their uses. Then 1300 BC. 1300 BC, a scientist named Parasara. He wrote a book called as Krishi Parasara. Krishi Parasara, where a lot of information about the crop plants and agriculture was given. And also he wrote another book called as Vrikshayurveda. Where he has given information about the forest, external internal characters of plants, including the medicinal plants. Then after that, Greek philosophers like Plato, Socrates, Aristotle, they developed the science of biology into a science, into a study like that study. Then after that, 340 BC, a scientist named Theophrastus. He studied about the external and internal characters of the plants, and he wrote a book called as De Historia Plantarum. Historia Plantarum. And he is considered as the father of botany. Theophrastus. Then this is about BC. Now, during 16th and 17th century, during 16th and 17th century, a scientist named Gaspard Bohin. He studied about the internal external characters of 6,000 plants and recorded the information. And he was the first one to introduce a type of naming system called as binomial nomenclature. So binomial nomenclature was first introduced by Gaspard Bohin. Then after that, in 17th century, Robert Hooke. He discovered the cell in Koch cell. So as Koch is a dead one, so he discovered the dead cell. But still, he was the first one to discover the cell, and he wrote a book called as Micrographia. And after that, next scientist, Anton von Leeuwenhoek discovered the living cell. Then plant tissues were for the first time described by Nemia Grue and Marcello Malpighi. So all these are the scientists who did some development in the science in the science of biology or science of plants botany. So Nemia Grue and Marcello Malpighi were the first one to introduce to know about the plant tissues. Then Camerarius was the first one to know about the sexual reproduction in plants. Then in 18th century, Gaspard Bohin first time introduced the binomial nomenclature, but it was not popularized. It was not, they were not following it in mind. But a scientist named Carolus von Linnaeus, he popularized the binomial nomenclature. And proposed the sexual system of classification. Of plants. So he was the one who popularized the binomial nomenclature. This naming of a plant with 2 words. We are going to study in the next video. Then Stephen Hales. Stephen Hales was the first one to study about the conduction of water through xylem. Joseph Presley, he was the first one to say that toxic gases in the atmosphere are absorbed by the green plants, and these green plants release the pure gases. So he was the first one to say about the absorption and release of the gases. Then Gregor John Mendel. He was a scientist who did hybridization techniques on pea plants and proposed the laws of inheritance. So this is somewhat related to genetics. So hence this scientist Gregor John Mendel is considered as father of genetics, because he was the first one to say something about the inheritance, transmission of characters from parents to offsprings. So hence he is considered as father of genetics. Then some ecological studies also were done. First time the ecological studies were done by Haeckel. Then taxonomical study. Taxonomical study means identification, nomenclature, and classification of the plants. Was for the first time was done by A.P.D. Candoll and Bentham and Hooker. Bentham and Hooker. They were the first one to study about the taxonomical study of the plants. Then Hugo de Vares. Hugo de Vares, he was the first one to invent, or you can say discovery of the mutations. Mutations means changes in the chromosomes or genes. Then Sutton and Boveri. Sutton and Boveri. They were the first one to say about the role of chromosomes in transmission of characters. Then Watson and Crick. Watson and Crick. They proposed the double helical structure of DNA. Double helical structure of DNA. Then Frankel Conrad. Frankel Conrad. He explained about the genetic nature of RNA. Then Hanning, Shimakura, Maheshwari, and several other scientists also. They discovered or invented the techniques of tissue culture. Tissue culture means a part of the plant is taken and it is cultured in the nutrient media to produce into a new plant. It is called as plant tissue culture. This is about the development of botany. Now coming on to scope. Why do we have to study about botany? Why do we need that one? Yes, of course, it's very much important that we need botany because we are living in the world where they are also co-organisms. We should know about them. And moreover, we are dependent on these plants for so many reasons, for food, shelter, medicines, and food like that. So we should know, and we are developing new techniques such that we can get new improved varieties of plants. So let's study about that one. In scope, we can apply biotechnology. So when we are applying biotechnology and plants, it's called plant biotechnology. So plant biotechnology is very much important because we want improved varieties, disease-resistant varieties, high-yielding varieties. So plant biotechnology. Then hybridization means combining of two plants of different varieties and obtaining a hybrid variety of improved desired characters. So hybridization techniques, genetic engineering, all can be applied to get a new improved plant varieties. Then plant physiology. We should have a knowledge about plant physiology also. Physiology means what? Physiology is nothing but the vital activities of the plants like absorption, photosynthesis, respiration, nitrogen metabolism, growth, everything we are going to study in plant physiology. So we should have a knowledge of plant physiology. We should also have a knowledge about phytopathology. Phytopathology means about the plant diseases, about the cause, symptom, treatment and prevention of plant diseases and developing a new variety where they are disease resistant. So we should know about, have a knowledge about phytopathology also. And these plants are useful to us in many ways. They can give medicines. Medicinal plants are there like digitalis, datura, arnica, cinchona, many are there. Like Ayurvedic medicines we are getting from plants. Then we are also going to get timber, we are going to get fiber, cotton fiber. Then we are going to get antibiotics like fungi from penicillin, streptomycin. All these are the antibiotics which we are getting from fungi. Single cell proteins like chlorella, spirulina are the single cell proteins. Now you might be getting it out, what are single cell proteins? Single cell proteins means these are having all the nutrients. Like for example, astronauts, the persons who go in space, they'll just take these single cell proteins and can survive. They have all the nutrients. So single cell nutrients. Then fuels like coal, petroleum are going to be formed by the fossil plants. Then biofuels from Jatropha and Pongamia are the petroplants, where we are going to get the biofuels. Where we are going to get the biofuels. Then the knowledge of botany can also be applied to control the environmental issues, to control the pollution, soil pollution, then soil pollution by bioremediation, biofertilizers like azolla, nostoc, everything we are going to study in the further chapters, in further videos I am going to explain. Then also recycling of the nutrients by saprophytic organisms, etc. This is about the scope of botany. Coming on to the branches of botany. The first branch which is going to come in branches of botany is morphology. Morphology. Logy means study, science, morpho means structure. So, the study or science which deals with the structure of the plants is called as morphology. It is divided into two: external morphology, internal morphology. External morphology means external structure, the study or science which deals with the external structures. Internal morphology, the study or science which deals with the internal structures. This internal morphology is again divided into histology and anatomy. Histology. Histo means tissues. So the study which deals with the plant tissues is called as histology. Anatomy is a study which deals with the internal organs. Here, plant structures means internal aspects of the leaf, flower, fruit, seed, everything about the internal aspects of all these structures is anatomy. Then after this morphology, we can say something about cytology. Cytology or cell biology. The study or science which deals with cell. Cyto means cell. The study which deals with cell. Everything about cell. The structure of cell, functions of cell, about the cell organelles, everything in detail is called is nothing but the cytology. Then after that, embryology. Embryology, the study which deals with the formation of gametophytes, formation of gametes, fertilization, embryo formation, seed formation is nothing but embryology. Then palynology. Palynology, the study which deals with pollen grains. The study which deals with pollen grains. Pollen grains are nothing but microspores. So the study which deals with the structure and formation and everything about the pollen grains is nothing but palynology. Then taxonomy. Taxonomy or systematic botany. This is nothing but the study or science which deals with the identification, nomenclature and classification of the plants is called as taxonomy. Then physiology. This I already told you. This is about the study which deals with the vital activities of the plants. That is absorption of water and mineral salts, photosynthesis, respiration, nitrogen metabolism, growth, everything we are going to study in physiology, plant physiology. Then plant ecology. Plant ecology, the study which deals with environment, or here plant ecology, the study which deals with the reciprocal relationship of the plants with their environment. The study which deals with the reciprocal or interdependence of the plants with their environment is called as plant ecology. Then paleobotany. Paleobotany means the study which deals with the fossil plants. The dead plants in the on the earth surface is there, about that study is called as paleobotany. What is the need for paleobotany? Why we have to study about fossil plants? Why? Because we can study about the course of evolution. Paleobotany. Then genetics. Coming on to genetics. Everything about genes. The study which deals with the genes is called as genetics. What do you mean by genes? Genes are nothing but these are responsible for transmission of traits from one generation to another generation, from parents to offspring. So the study which deals with the aspects of genes or transmission of traits or characters is nothing but genetics. Then phytogeography. Phytogeography. phytogeography is nothing but the geographical distribution of the plants in present and past. The phytogeographical distribution means how the plants are distributed in America, US, India, all those things of the geographical distribution of plants in present and past. Then plant pathology. I told you this again before also. Plant pathology. This is about pathology. This is about the cause, symptoms, and treatment, and then treatment in the sense how we can treat the plant disease. Then prevention about everything is a study of plant pathology about the diseases. If we know about the cause and symptoms, then we can treat that particular plant disease, and we can develop a new variety of called as disease resistant variety. So plant pathology. Then phycology. Phycology is the study of algae. Algae is nothing but chlorophyllus autotrophic thallophyte. So the study which deals with algae, which is a chlorophyllus autotrophic thallophyte. Then mycology. Mycology is a study which deals with fungi. Fungi is heterotrophic non-chlorophyllus thallophyte. Non-chlorophyllus heterotrophic thallophyte. This is mycology. Then another study is called as lichenology. The study which deals with lichens. Lichens are nothing but they are the group of organisms where they have the symbiotic association of algae and fungi. They have both algae and fungi. They have both algae and fungi. The algae is called as phycobiont. The fungi is called as mycobiont. So both algae and fungi are in mutual understanding. Symbiotic association is there, which develop into a group of organisms called as special organisms called as lichens. The study which deals with lichens is called as lichenology. Then bryology. The study which deals with bryophytes. Bryophytes are nothing but amphibians of plants. These are the plants which can live in both in water and on land. So bryology, the study which deals with bryophytes. Then pteridology. Pteridology, the study which deals with pteridophytes, vascular cryptogams. Means these are the first land plants where the vascular tissues are well developed. So the study which deals with pteridophytes is called as